so there's a big issue within Trump's own camp. Navarro is in Trump's cabinet. Musk has, I don't know if it's an official or some sort of power within the cabinet, and they're disagreeing on tariffs. We did a video on tariffs. They're not really reciprocal tariffs, meaning that we did the math and it doesn't add up. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to fail. It just means there's going to be a jolt to the system, and it's going to be bad before it gets good, unless this is all a negotiating tactic. But the infighting within the squad, within the gang, is amazing.
So I think we'll work backwards, and we'll start at what the United States press secretary said to the media regarding this issue, and then we'll work backwards and see how did this all begin. But her comments are pretty funny.
All right, go ahead and play.
There's been some public sparring between Elon Musk and the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, on some of these tariffs. Musk actually referred to Navarro today as being, quote, dumber than a sack of bricks. Administration, the president, all concerned that this is maybe impacting the public's understanding of these tariffs. It might be messing with the message on it.
No, look, these are obviously two individuals who have very different views on trade and on tariffs. Boys will be boys, and we will let their public sparring continue. And you guys should all be very grateful that we have the most
Okay, hold on. This is the White House press secretary.
Boys will be boys.
Who just said boys will be boys.
Like she's talking about my toddler.
Boys will be boys.
He's just goofing off.
One will call the other one the R word.
He wants to lay in the dirt. One wants to play with Legos and dinosaurs and say "rawr." Boys will just be boys. No, she's talking about grown men.
Grown men
beefing over
both north of 50.
Beefing over
these aren't
geopolitical issues.
These are like geopolitical issues that could have a radical impact and jolt the world economy.
I will say she's doing her job wonderfully, though.
She's doing her job great.
Downplay everything.
She made light of it.
Make it super calm.
We're talking about it and laughing about it.
We're just goofing. But how did we get here?
Okay, is there anything else here? How does the room react to this?
Okay, let's see.
Current administration in history, and I think it also speaks to the president's willingness to hear from all sides, that he has people at the highest levels of this government in this White House who have very diverse opinions.
That's a good point.
Clean play.
That's a great point. Hey, I know people are upset about these tariffs, but you should be reassured that the president has people of all perspectives.
We're not in an echo chamber.
We're not in an echo chamber. That's actually a great point that she makes.
Yeah, it's a great point. Cool. So how did this all start?
Yeah, I want to know.
This is the interesting clip when they were looking at the stock market.
When it comes to tariffs,
this is Peter Navarro.
Shout out to Peter
Navarro.
This
is the tariff guy.
Yeah, tariff guy.
Who started it all.
He does not like tariffs.
He did not like tariffs.
Okay.
Or no, he does like tariffs.
He does like tariffs.
Elon doesn't like tariffs.
Oh, I thought Elon would. Are you sure? I thought Elon would love tariffs because he has manufacturing here. He has a great infrastructure. Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
That's why he got called dumber than a sack of
in
bricks.
trade, we all understand in the White House, and the American people understand, that Elon's a car manufacturer. But he's not a car manufacturer. He's a car assembler in many cases. If you go to his Texas plant, a good part of the engines that he gets, which in the EV case is the batteries, come from Japan and come from China. The electronics come from Taiwan. The tires come. What we want, and the difference is in our thinking and Elon's on this, is that we want the tires made in Akron. We want the transmissions made in Indianapolis. We want the engines made in Flint and Saginaw.
The only trans I want in America is a transmission in Indianapolis.
And we want the cars manufactured here. It's like this business model where BMW.
So that was pretty much the take, and he was saying.
So Elon is against the tariffs.
So Elon has probably had some pushback against the tariffs, correct? And so this was Elon Musk's response to that. He said, Tesla has the most American-made cars. Navarro is dumber than a sack of bricks. And he tags, I find R words in the thing, which is crazy.
That's
and
insane.
then he also linked to a Kelly Blue Book thing, a study that cited that they have the most American-made parts, actually, which is very interesting. So he's validating his point that, like, hey, if I push back against tariffs, it's not because of my own personal company. Navarro was trying to claim that. As you can tell, it's calling him dumber than a sack of bricks spirals a little bit out of hand. And he's getting a lot of pushback for tagging the I find R words. And then we end up here. An apology. I apologize to Bricks for calling Peter Ardo, dumber than a sack of bricks. That was unfair to bricks.
That is funny.
So now he's pulling a Trump and giving him a nickname, which I do not agree with.
Yeah.
Absolutely despicable, disgusting. Yuck, yuck.
Wow.
Yeah, and then, yeah,
Jeez, and
just
then that
account.
Oh my
and
gosh.
so that's pretty much just how it's gone.
Wow. Okay.
So what do you think about the whole issue? Maybe, and then we can even dissect the issue of the language.
I still want to figure out that Elon is against tariffs because I would think that he'd be for tariffs based on having infrastructure in America. I just want to verify that because that seems like I don't get why he would be against something if he's built these mega gig factories in Texas and entire cities around this infrastructure. I'm in favor of no tariffs. Okay, so he's in favor of no tariffs. If they're taken away, that would be better.
We can play the video.
Play it. Go ahead.
In general, I'm in favor of no tariffs. I'm also actually in favor of no tax incentives for EVs, but provided that there are also the tax incentives for oil and gas must also be eliminated. So I'm in favor of no tariffs and no incentives for electric vehicles or for oil and gas. And if they're all taken away, I think that would be for the best.
Okay, I stand corrected.
So that's his take.
So, I like that there's infighting within this world. I think it's good because people have what have people said about Trump? I mean, Elon's too influential. He has too much power. The oligarchs, yada yada yada. Then Trump does this thing that like no one likes. If you own wealth in America and you own anything in the market, you don't like what's happening to the market. Now, this is the thing about the market: the $6 trillion. People are blasting it. $6 trillion lost in the market. Right? That's the headline. The issue with that is that's if you're about to cash out right now.
Exactly. It's not lost.
It's not
just
lost.
Down.
It's just down right now. And anyone that has studied the market will know that it'll come back up probably bigger and stronger.
Hello.
So I think the best case scenario is this is a negotiation tactic Trump is using to get everybody back to the table. Because he's like tariffing Israel. Like he's tariffing our allies, like our closest allies.
Tariff Gaza.
He wants to get everybody back to negotiate.
I don't want the rebar.
And I think that's good. And I hope that's the issue. If that's not an issue, the practical implications of this is going to be right now on luxury goods. Like that's the biggest stuff that's going to get hit with tariffs, luxury goods, toys, stuff like that. And then we're going to start seeing like avocados from Mexico and those sorts of things hit. But that's under a different plan from my understanding. It's a different that was already set in stone with tariffs. So how this plays out, I think if you're in the market with the $6 trillion, that to me, that's true in a technical sense, but it's not true as in there was $10 trillion in cash sitting there, and now there's $4 trillion
like you
in
spent
cash.
the money.
That's not what's happening. That's the value of ads. People are selling off because they're spooked. Warren Buffett, every investor, and this is not financial advice, always talks about, hey, be greedy when others are scared, be scared when others are greedy.
I gotta say,
And by the way, that's investment. That's not scripture. Just so that no one misunderstands that. I'm quoting Warren Buffett as a principle for scripture. I am not advocating for greed as a Christian.
Warren Buffett 3:16.
Someone will clip that.
Clip it. No, I think that's great. I forgot what I was gonna say because that disclaimer and it really threw me off.
Yeah,
and it was needed.
It was needed
because
it's needed nowadays. So, I think this is hopefully going to get everybody back to the table and it'll get situated. And hopefully that will happen before the American people feel the jolt.
I have a question. Is some of this stuff that's happening to the market the opposite of what we were talking about with the was it hyperinflation?
Yeah.
It would be quote unquote restoring the middle class. Is that what it would be?
I don't think it would restore anything, bro.
Like, but it is dropping asset values, which is the opposite of what the hyperinflation was, which was
here's the play here, allegedly, is that crashed the market, forced the Fed to decrease interest rates. You forced the Fed to decrease interest rates. Now you're pumping more money into the economy. You can refinance America's debt with lower interest rates, and people can have more money to refinance their homes, refinance their businesses, pull more money out, put more money in the market.
I'll refinance my tax debt.
Yeah, that's the theory of what he might be trying to do. Wants to intentionally tank the economy so that the Fed is forced to bring down interest rates because the economy grows when interest rates are low. That's me as a very, very, very novice,
that was helpful.
Expert on this. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.